Right, 2 days late, but still irate. Now, I apologise for not getting this video out sooner, but I have been away the last 2 nights in Bristol and had a really good time, other than when we all sat down and watched the England game. But, look, it's just, honestly, I'm at my wit's end with it. I really am. I'm absolutely at my wit's end with it, and I'm still frustrated now. 2 days on, I'm still frustrated with what I witnessed on Friday night. And look, the inevitable is going to happen. We are not going to get anywhere near winning this Euros. If we do, I will be flabbergasted. I said after the Bosnia game, the way we look right now, we will struggle and probably not even get out of the group. After what I saw against Iceland on Friday night, I'm even more sure we're not even going to get out of the group. We've got Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia. These are all better teams than Bosnia and Iceland. And they have sat and watched 2 England games whereby all you have to do is sit back against them, and Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland, that management team, has no idea how to utilise this squad of world-class attacking talent to break down mediocre international defences. It is honestly embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It's infuriating. I'm not going to say disappointed. I've gone beyond disappointment because I've been here so many times in the last 10 years that the disappointment's just gone. It's just frustration. It's the how many times you have to repeat something until you realise it's time to move on. And I'm going to keep banging on about it. But Ivory Coast sacked their manager after the group stages in the African Cup of Nations, mid-tournament. They got in a man who was going to get the most out of the players in that squad, and they won the African Cup of Nations. It can still be done. They could still sack him this week and put someone else in charge for this Euros that will have some sort of tactical know-how to actually get something out of this team. And we know there are managers out there with good tactical know-how available at the moment. Get one of them in this week, and we might actually have a chance of doing something in this competition. Because, honestly, you look at the form guide, right? Because I've got them here. England's last 5 matches as the preparation for this tournament. Actually, we'll do last 6 matches, because I remember the 6th game as well. So our final 2 games of the group were struggling, and I mean seriously struggling, to beat Malta 2-0 at home. Then we drew 1-1 away in North Macedonia. Then we lost 1-0 at home to Brazil. Then we equalised in the 95th minute to draw 2-2 at home to Belgium. Then we were awful against Bosnia the other night and only got the win because we got a penalty at 0-0. Otherwise, Bosnia would have kept us out for the entire game. And then we lost 1-0 at home to Iceland. What sort of preparation is that for a major tournament? We're favourites, by the way. How we're favourites, I don't know. We ain't got a prayer. There is no way that team is anywhere near winning a European Championship with this management setup. They do not have a clue how to get the most out of these players. And I've sat here for the last 8 years, however many long it's been, saying after every single major tournament, every single cock-up from this management team, that they have to go. How many more times does it have to happen? He should have been sacked when he sat back on a lead against Croatia and bottled it at the World Cup. He should have been sacked when we almost got relegated from the Nations League the first time around. If it wasn't for a deflected goal in the last minute, which took us from getting relegated to actually getting into the finals. A finals where we lost and then beat Switzerland in a 3rd place playoff on penalties. Something that the FA posted again this morning saying, oh look, remember when we came 3rd in the Nations League? What our achievement. 3rd in the Nations League on penalties against Switzerland after nearly getting relegated. He should have been sacked after we blew the 1-0 lead against Italy at Wembley, where he didn't make any attack-minded substitutions at all. Saved 3 substitutions for the last minute of the game to sub on 3 penalty takers that all missed. He wasn't sacked after that. He should have been sacked when we lost 4-0 at home to Hungary. He should have been sacked when we then did get relegated from the Nations League. He should have been sacked after all of those games that I have just mentioned in the run-up to this major competition. And he should be sacked after what I saw against Iceland on Friday night. I am at my wit's end with it. It's an absolute disgrace. Great manager. Terrible football manager. I mean, look, we can talk about the game itself. We can talk about the goal. People want to have a pop at Ramsdale. Fair enough. Have a pop at Ramsdale. He's 33% of the reason they scored that goal from an England perspective. Firstly, where's Declan Rice? Why is he 20 yards further ahead of Kobbie Mainoo? I know he's been playing a position for Arsenal where he's allowed to get a bit further forward, but Jesus Christ, you can't leave Kobbie Mainoo alone in midfield. He's 19. Look what happens when it happens for Manchester United. We can see 25 shots a game. You can't do that with England. You can't leave Kobbie Mainoo isolated in midfield on his own. Declan Rice has gone wandering off. He's supposed to be the holding midfielder. Then Kyle Walker just trotting back. I'm sure they'll deal with it. It's not my problem. Bloody hell, Kyle. I know it's the last game before the major tournament, but put some flipping effort in, man. We've got a reputation to uphold. We can't be sloppy. We can't switch off at any moment. I don't care if it's a friendly. You're wearing an England shirt. There are 80,000 people at Wembley that have paid good money to watch you play. Do your job. Get back and defend. John Stones, weak. Lets him cut inside. Splits his legs. And then obviously, as we spoke about, Ramsdale's got to cover his near post. And that is his contribution to that goal. But that's the goal itself. Several people at fault in that. Then we come down to the actual tactics. Firstly, as I've already spoken about, why was Rice playing 20 yards further ahead of Mainoo? That is a tactical decision from the manager to allow him to do that. I get it. Declan Rice is very good when he plays that role for Arsenal. Arsenal have Thomas Partey sitting behind him, who is a very good holding midfielder. Kobbie Mainoo, A, is not a very good holding midfielder, because B, he's not a holding midfielder. Do you know who is a holding midfielder and can play holding midfield? Declan Rice. He should be the one staying there, and whether it's Trent or whether it's Mainoo, they should be the one going forward to support whoever it is in the attacking position, be it Palmer, Foden, whoever. Secondly, on Trent. Why is Trent not playing right back? Go watch my squad builder video that me and my mates did a few weeks back. Go and watch it. I said in the group stages, we should be playing Trent at right back because these teams are going to sit back off us and Kyle Walker doesn't provide those overlapping runs and crosses that will actually hurt these teams, whereas Trent does. We don't need Kyle Walker to defend against the Serbians, the Danes and the Slovenians. They don't have significant enough threat going forward that requires us to play Kyle Walker over Trent. You put Trent at right back, we will be fine. But also, we'll have a much better attacking outlet from the right-hand side. That entire game, Iceland sat in, dug in, and all we did was just pass it around the middle. Because Walker wasn't overlapping on one side, and Trippier was cutting inside on the other side. We had no width whatsoever, and they just went, thank you very much. Palmer had no space to do anything. Foden had no space to do anything. Kane had no space to do anything. When Saka came on, he had no space to do anything. Gordon, bless him, he put in a good shift, I thought. I thought he tried really hard, Anthony Gordon. He was trying to be the entire left-hand side of the pitch, all on his own. And he created more problems than anyone else did. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite come to anything because, again, there wasn't enough support in and around him when he got the ball. So fair play to Anthony Gordon for actually trying something. But outside of that, the attacking line offered absolutely nothing. When he made the substitutions of putting Saka, Gomez and Trent on, I thought, oh my God, he's actually doing something clever. He's going to go 3 at the back with Gahey, Konsa and Gomez. He's going to put Trent at right wing back. He's going to put Saka at left wing back. Keep the creative players in the middle and actually start using width to put balls into the box. Nah, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He put Gomez at left back. He put Trent at right back. And he put Saka at right wing. And all that changed is we got a couple of extra balls into the box from Trent. And I mean that. And I mean that in a good way for Trent, by the way. A couple more balls into the box from Trent in 20 minutes was a couple more balls than what Kyle Walker put in 70 minutes. So again, reiterating my point that against these teams that sit back, we don't need Kyle Walker. You play Trent at right back. But again, the entire left-hand side of the pitch was completely null and void. Eze came on, again, cut inside, couldn't do anything, into the cluster. Gomez didn't even attempt to get forward, let alone overlap, because well, he wouldn't even put crosses on his left foot anyway. But it's so glaringly obvious that when you're playing against teams like this that just want to sit in and be tight, you've got to spread the pitch. You've got to use the space. You create space out wide, then your creative players like Foden, like Cole Palmer, can get on the ball and actually do some damage in the middle, because the players at the back are worrying about your wide players getting in behind them round the outside. But no, Gareth Southgate can't see that. Steve Holland can't see that. This management setup can't see that. And when we come up against Serbia, when we come up against Denmark, and when we come up against Slovenia, and they all do exactly what Iceland did, we will get knocked out of the group stage. And he will finally get sacked. And I swear to God, if he takes over at Man United, I'll lose it. But that's a story for another day. But they've got to watch these games back and recognise that this is where they need to improve. They have to recognise where the spaces are, who they can influence the game with, and where they can hurt these teams, because you can't put it down to the players. One mistake from a player in terms of offence. Cole Palmer got clean through. Should have just shot, tried to round the goalkeeper and missed. But that was one attacking mistake. Outside of that one chance, in 90 minutes of football against Iceland at Wembley, we had one shot on target, and it was a 25-yarder from Phil Foden that went straight into the keeper's hands. That is embarrassing. That is not on the players. That is on the setup and the tactical side of things from the management. If it was up to me, he would already be sacked. I mean, if it was up to me, he'd have been sacked 5-6 years ago. But if it was up to me right here today, I'd be talking to some of these managers that are available right now. I'd be sacking Gareth Southgate and putting someone who knows some of these players in charge, who knows how to get more out of these players, who can actually have some sort of tactical know-how about them and give us a chance of actually winning this competition, because right now it's just not going to happen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching as always. Southgate out. I'll see you next week.